I used to believe that when people leave, they take everything with them. Their laughter, their scent, their presence, gone like smoke. But I was wrong. Some people don't leave. They linger in the places that loved them most. They become air, dust, echoes. When I first saw the house by the lake, it looked like peace. The kind of peace that feels earned after years of chaos. My partner and I had decided to move there after everything in the city began to fall apart. We told ourselves it was for a fresh start, but deep down, we both knew it was a way to run from the truth, that our love was dying slowly, and neither of us had the courage to save it. The house was old, but beautiful. 2 stories of quiet wood and weathered charm. The lake stretched endlessly behind it, reflecting light in a way that made even pain look poetic. We told our friends it was our dream home. In reality, it was a last attempt to remember why we ever chose each other in the first place. The first few weeks were almost convincing. We cooked dinners together, watched the sunset from the porch, and pretended that peace had come to stay. But silence has a strange way of showing you what's missing. Out there, away from the noise of traffic and people, there was nowhere to hide from the distance growing between us. He started taking walks at night, long ones. He said it helped him think. I didn't question it at first, but curiosity has a heartbeat, and mine started pulsing louder each night. One evening, when the moon was bright and the air was still, I decided to follow him. He walked along the path that circled the lake, past the boathouse, into the woods beyond. I kept my distance, my footsteps light. He stopped at a clearing and pulled out his phone, his face glowing in the pale light. Then I saw him smile, not the polite kind he'd given me for months, but the kind I hadn't seen since we first met. He started talking softly, the way people do when they're in love. There was no one else there, at least not that I could see, but his tone was unmistakable. It was intimacy, it was betrayal, and it was breaking me, one quiet syllable at a time. I left before he saw me. I couldn't bear to hear more. Back at the house, I sat by the window until he returned. When he walked in, his hair slightly damp from the lake breeze, he kissed my forehead like nothing had changed. I realized then that love doesn't always end with fights. Sometimes it ends with routine gestures that mean nothing anymore. Days passed, but something in me shifted. I stopped waiting for him to come home, stopped asking where he went, stopped pretending I didn't already know. I became quiet, not out of peace, but out of exhaustion. One evening, I asked if he was happy. He looked at me for a long time and said, "I don't know." That was the last honest thing he ever said to me. 2 weeks later, he went missing. The police came, searched, asked questions I couldn't answer. They found his car parked near the lake, doors unlocked, phone inside. No signs of struggle, no footprints beyond his own. They asked if we'd argued if there was trouble. I said no, because how do you explain the kind of trouble that exists in silence? Nights became unbearable after that. The lake looked different. Its surface no longer shimmered, it stared back. I started hearing things. Footsteps on the porch, the faint sound of a door opening when I was alone. Once, I woke up and swore I saw someone standing by the window, but when I turned on the light, there was no one there. The neighbors said he probably ran away. One officer suggested he might have drowned, but deep down I knew neither was true. I could feel him everywhere, not alive, not dead, just present. One night I sat by the water and asked the air, "Why did you leave?" The wind moved softly, carrying the scent of pine and rain. I looked down and saw something near the shore, a small silver chain, his necklace, the one I'd given him years ago. I picked it up and noticed a tiny key attached to it, one I'd never seen before. It didn't belong to anything in the house, or so I thought. Later that night, I searched every drawer, every box, until I found a locked cabinet in the corner of the attic. I'd walked past it dozens of times but never paid attention. The key fit perfectly. Inside, I found a journal. His handwriting. pages filled with words I wasn't meant to read. The first entries were normal, reflections, plans, thoughts about work, but then they turned strange. He wrote about voices by the lake, whispers calling him at night, dreams where someone asked him to come back. The last entry was dated the day before he disappeared. It said, "I finally understand. She isn't haunting me. She's waiting for me to remember." That was the last line. I closed the journal and sat there for hours, feeling both grief and something colder. He hadn't been seeing someone else. He'd been hearing someone else. Something else. Sometimes I wonder if the lake took him, or if he went willingly, following the voice that kept calling his name. I'll never know. But I do know that when the wind moves across the water at night, it sounds almost like a whisper. And sometimes, if I listen closely, I hear my name too. I still live in that house. People tell me I should leave, that I should start over somewhere new. But leaving feels like abandoning a truth I'm still trying to understand. Love brought me here, but mystery keeps me. Maybe I'll never solve what happened by the lake, but I've learned this much. Some people don't die. They just stop belonging to the world the rest of us live in. When I stand by the water now, I don't look for him. I look for peace. Some nights, the reflection of the moon ripples in a way that feels almost like a heartbeat. And on those nights, I smile softly and whisper into the darkness, "I forgive you." Because maybe forgiveness is the only way to survive what you'll never understand.